Good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is Joe Scarice, and welcome back to the Creative Burst Strategies podcast, where we break down how to build cash flowing portfolios using creative ways of measuring, whether it's burst strategy, fixed to rent, fixed to flip, ground up construction, DSCR. We've been around over 2 years now, 150 plus episodes, 15,000 impressions. My co-founder as well, Mr. Yerdal Perkins. Want to welcome everybody here today. And today we're talking about something that doesn't get nearly enough airtime in real estate is burnout. Not interest rates today, not deal flow, not even bad contracts. We're going to talk about running the machine because that's be real. On Instagram, everyone's scaling, everyone's closing, everyone's living the dream. But behind the scenes, people are exhausted. Decision fatigue, constant fires, deals going sideways, and somehow you're supposed to just keep operating like nothing's happening. So the real question is, how do you keep building without breaking down? Exactly. How do you stay sharp when you're managing tenants, lenders, contractors, and your own expectations all at once? And more importantly, how do you avoid hitting that wall where everything just stops? Today, we're going to get into a real side of real estate, what burnout actually looks like, and why it hits investors harder than most people think, and how to structure your business and your mindset so you can keep scaling without sacrificing yourself. Because if your business only works when you're running at 110%, it's not a business, it's a burnout machine. Let's get into it in just a few minutes here. Let's invite some people in and get rocking and rolling. See how we get this whole new Clubhouse thing where got to welcome people in. It's very unique nowadays. So we're always on Clubhouse, first and third Sunday of the month, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we used to be every Sunday morning, but we're cutting it back a little bit just because of our schedule. We're getting a little busy, which is a little, it's expected, in this business time to time. But a little background about me, if you don't know, if the first time you're here or listening into the podcast, my name is Joe Scarice, co-founder and co-host of the Creative Burst Strategies podcast, nationwide direct private lender, providing DSCR, fixed to rent, fixed to flip, grounded construction, single family through four family, nationwide, analysis, underwrite, just a little of everything right now going on in the market. So let me just make sure I get everybody invited in here so we get started here. And we have our co-host and co-founder, Mr. Yerdal Perkins, and we have one of our regular moderators here, Mr. Bob Chezik. Yerdal, why don't you give a quick introduction, who you are, and a little background on you, and we'll get into the real estate market discussion, and then my discussion on strategies of burnout. Yerdal, give us a little insight to what we're doing right now, social media wise. One, to assist our referral partners and real estate professionals. A little bit about our CRM, our text messaging, our email campaigning, and then our social media branding and what we plan on doing for associates within our team. Thank you as always. And hopefully we're going to be live streaming in LinkedIn by the end of the month, this month coming up in May. Keep our fingers crossed on that. We're live on Facebook and YouTube when we do the podcast. And then we're also doing one-on-one interviews for real estate professionals, second Saturday or third Saturday of the month. We're always scheduling a couple of discussions with different real estate professionals as well. So Yerdal, thank you as always. So excellent. So let's talk about a little update to the market, real estate investor market this past immediate week for real estate agents and investors. The distress is quietly rising. Early opportunity signal. U.S. foreclosures jumped about 26% over year, hitting the highest level since early 2020. Pretty much driven by property taxes, insurance spikes, high rate buyers from 2022 to 24 getting squeezed, student loan payments, and cost of living pressure. In fact, the takeaway: we're not in a crash, but we're entering a very selective distress pockets. More pre-foreclosures, more motivated sellers, especially recent buyers, and early stage discount opportunities, not yet widespread. And for the agents, this is where the listing opportunities shift from retail to distressed advisory. Short sales and creative deals will start creeping back. Demand is stronger than expected despite rates. Housing demand has been described as shockingly positive, even with global instability. Mortgage rates still hovering around 6.25. I actually locked a rate for refinance this past Friday at 5.875 with a slight buy down. So the rates are there. You just got to be able to work with the right people on the cash out and the leverage. It was probably a 70% loan to value with a slight buy down, and I think the DSCR was pretty good, 1.2 or better. Credit score was 800, so we were pretty happy in putting that together. But what it looks like this week, buyers are more payment sensitive, more negotiation driven, still active if the deal makes sense. The investor implication, deal's still moving if the cash flow works and price is realistic. There's no more list anything and it sells. How this implicates the agent pricing strategy matters more than ever. Overpriced listings equals sitting. Days on the market still elevated versus past cycles. Inventory and pricing dynamics. The national data shows inventory ticking up slightly. Medium list price 449, up about $4,000. Price reduction rising about 35%. What changed this week versus earlier 26? More listings hitting the market, spring effect, and sellers testing higher prices than cutting. The investor angle, this is a negotiation window opening. Watch out for listings sitting 30 to 60 days, price drops, and best entry points. The agent angle, expect more seller conversations about the reality of things, fewer bidding wars, except prime assets. Geographic shifts, Midwest Rust Belts staying pretty good, affordability, job stability, and lower climate risk. And, the investor takeaway capital is rotating toward cash flow markets and appreciation markets. Agent takeaway, you're competing with out-of-state investor migration, remote buyers relocating capital. What's actually really mattering right now? The market this week, stable on the surface, softening underneath, fragmenting by deal quality. For the investors, early distress equals next 6 to 12 months opportunity pipeline. Negotiation power is quietly returning. Cash flow markets are outperforming appreciation plays. Average deals are dying. Only strong deals move fast. For the agents, the shift from order taken is going to more advisor and strategist. Pricing plus positioning equals everything. And expect more expired listings, more seller education, and more creative structuring, concessions and buy downs. This is a transition phase, not a crash, not a boom. Easy money market, skill-based market. I really think it's really more skill-based than ever before. I'm having much more deeper discussions with investors and agents than ever before as well. It's definitely taking a lot of time in discussing how to structure and getting past rate and getting more caught up with structure as well. That's an important discussion that we're having more than ever with a lot of my clients. So let's dive into my thoughts to burnout in real estate, how to keep operating without breaking down, and some strategies. And then we'll go to our moderators, and then we'll open it up if anybody has any questions, of course. Stop running a reactive business. If your day is driven by texts, calls, and urgent client needs, burnout is inevitable. Shift to controlled responsiveness. Set communication windows. Use auto replies. Got this. We'll respond by X time. Pre-frame expectations with the clients early. You don't lose deals by replying in 2 minutes. You lose sanity. Productize what you can. Most agents and operators reinvent the wheel for every deal. Turn repeat work into the systems. Buyer-seller onboarding templates, standard deal checklists, pre-written email, SMS sequences, and docs for common client questions. Less decision-making equals less mental fatigue. Build a minimum viable day. On low energy days, you still need to move the business forward, but without overwhelm. Define your non-negotiable 3 to 5 tasks, like following up with X leads, 1 revenue generating activity, call, showing, offer, 1 pipeline update. Everything else is optional. This prevents all or nothing burnout spirals. Separate money work versus busy work. A lot of burnout comes from doing too much low impact work, lead gen, follow-ups, negotiation, Deal structuring is more money work. Busy work is formatting listings endlessly, over customizing presentations, admin tasks you could outsource. Protect your energy for what actually drives income. This is something where I'm trying to get myself and Yordell in leveraging Rolando with a lot of the background work, because it's stuff that's just tedious, and allow him to kind of progress. And he's our social media behind the scenes in posting a lot of the marketing, which he's been a guest on here as well on our podcast. Creative emotional boundaries, huge in real estate. Real estate is emotional. Clients panic, deals fall apart, expectations get messy. You need not to internalize every outcome. A deal dying does not equal your failure. A difficult client does not equal your responsibility to fix their personality. Urgency from others does not equal urgency for you. Think about this. Your guide is not a savior. You're a guide, not a savior. You're not like, I'm not parting the Red Sea here. I mean, I'm not, I'm not a Rhodes Scholar here. Like I do lending all day. I don't, I'm not saving the universe. You know what I mean? So you gotta take things into perspective, and shortening the feedback loop. Burnout gets worse when effort doesn't feel like it's working. Track conversations per day, offers written, deals under contract. This gives your control visibility even when closings lag. Design recovery like your design deals. Most people rest passively, scrolling, zoning out, which doesn't actually recharge you. Instead, block off real time, no notifications, using active recovery, exercising, walking, social time. I go to the gym every day, man. I got to just let it out, Taking mini resets during the day, 15 to 30 minutes between intense blocks. If you don't protect recovery, burnout compounds silently. Build leverage early, even small. You don't need a full team, but you do need relief. Start with a transaction coordinator per deal, or a virtual assistant. That was probably the best ad I ever made 2 years ago. A showing assistant, even to 5 to 10 hours off your plate, can dramatically reduce stress. Watch for the 3 burnout signals. Catch it early before you crash. I hate clients. This isn't worth it. Simple tasks feeling heavy. So there's like the synonyms, then you have the inefficiency, and then you have the avoidance, dodging calls, leads, follow-ups. When these show up, don't push harder. Reduce load and reset the structure. Long-term, building a business is not just the income. If your income requires constant hustle, burnout will keep returning. Move toward repeatable lead sources like referrals, content, SEO, systems over personality, and fewer, better clients. So what I've done with like my newsletter, I've put my newsletter to a video now. So all my newsletters have a video, and I use AI video to push all that video work out, and it's all calendared out. So I don't have to put as much work into that. That's something that I've changed over the last 30 days, and it's made immediate impact. So I use BombBomb, which is a BOMB video, and I take those videos, or I use this other AI video that Yordell and I are training on, where I just give them the scripts, and then they're going to create the AI video for me, and I could put in like 15 of those a week, and then they just kind of fly out with with my picture and all that AI content, and it's thrown out on a calendar. So like I'm getting more impressions on all my social media platform due to all this video work, tying back to my newsletter, which is getting high impressions and a high inquiry as well. And I'm just sitting back and fielding inquiries from there and lead gen. And then we're doing the text messaging campaign, which we're scrubbing all my data, reevaluating my data. Yordell and I had a great conversation yesterday because I want to save my time for the most valuable discussions. So like we did an email blast to all my cell phone numbers. So some of you might have got it if you're in my cell phone database. And I was getting anywhere between 5 and 10 inquiries a week back based on those text messages over the last 30 days. High impact. I didn't have to go chasing these people or texting them or going crazy. They came to me. So you want to create that inbound mentality to lessen the stress and the burnout. Bob, good morning and welcome. The definition of non-burnout. Love to get a little background on you, who you are, what you do, and thoughts to burnout in real estate, how to keep operating without breaking down.
Joe.
So, yeah, I have become more calculated with my timelines in communication with people via text and or call. Um, I'm usually during the week 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or 8 a.m. Anytime after 8, as long as I'm back from the gym. That's it. I'm not going to be going through a text messaging campaign with somebody and I'm at the gym. That's not going to happen. I'll look at it maybe if my phone goes off, but I'm not really going to pay attention to it till I get back in front of my laptop after I get myself cleaned up and everything like that. Because you know what? I got there's the me time, that's burnout when you are addressing your life like that. So you got to kind of separate that. And then like anywhere, like if I'm out and about at functions, I'll look at calls or emails until about 9 p.m. because I'm either driving home from a function or driving to my hotel. I'm driving somewhere to get to my final destination in the evening. So I'll make myself available up to about 9 p.m. because I'm available. I mean, it's not like I'm not available. So anything past 9 p.m. does not make a heck of a lot of sense to go to the till the next day. So like I had a client blow up my phone last night after I talked to them around 5 o'clock, right? And they just were giving their worldly opinion, negotiating out pricing to themselves. They were having a great time. I wasn't responding. My phone was on silent. I looked at it this morning. I'm like, they had a whole entire conversation by themselves. And that's fine because I wasn't part of it. They could go whatever they want, but they're not going to get a response today. They're going to get maybe a response by Monday morning once I kind of calculate my thoughts to everything and see what they're looking for. But they're already like they were negotiating with themselves with me. That God bless them. But at the end of the day, it's going to be what it's going to be. Or guess what? You can go somewhere else. There's a famous word that I use when it's time to move on from someone. It's called next. You don't have to work with anybody or everybody. You could fire people, and there's people that probably will never want to work with me directly, and that's fine. That's fine. I'll say hello to them as I'm walking in and out of an event. I'm not going to go into a deep discussion and take up my time with them because I've already had discussions with them. If it's not going to work the first or the fifth time, it's definitely not going to work on the 12th conversation. So I don't get all caught up with the minutia. Like Yardell and I went to a function yesterday. I used to sponsor it, right? I used to get all worked up and very upset about it because I used to invest a lot of money into the function and then not see a great return at all based on the financial contribution I made. Guess what? I went there with no financial contribution. Somebody else sponsored the event, which is a colleague of mine. And I was able to work the room freely, meet people, feel very comfortable in what I was doing. And then I left after 2 hours. I was there for 2 hours. I was there from 11:45 URL till about 2 o'clock. That was more than enough time to get to know everybody. And everybody got my business card. Everybody can follow up with me. I got a couple follow-ups already. And then I felt refreshed. I'm saying, why would I make that financial contribution? And then I have all these high expectations. My anxiety is going off. You got to redefine what is productive, right? Conversations, not just contacts. Qualified leads, not just volume. Deals that fit their strategy, not every deal. Like I used to try to teach at different real estate associations my asset-based lending class. I stopped. If they don't call me, I don't call them. I rather teach the class and the workshop independently because the people that want to show up are engaged and we're having a wonderful conversation. Like I'm having a class coming up this Saturday and there's going to be about 10 to 12 people there. But let me tell you something. The result of those 10 to 12 people are going to be far exceeding me giving free lunch away to 20 realtors who are just sitting there just to get credits. There's the difference in the cost benefit relationship. So you gotta build a filter, not just a funnel. Instead of asking how you get more leads, ask which leads are actually worth my time. Create some type of criteria. This protects your energy the same way a budget protects your money. And time block like a specialist, not a generalist. If I'm at the gym, that is not my time to talk to people. You also need to structure your week deliberately with lead gen blocking, no interruptions. So typically when I get back, unless I have a heavy amount of phone calls from the gym, I'm going into marketing mode, getting all my marketing set up between 8 and 9 a.m., sometimes 9:30. And then I hit the calls or the follow-ups or the inquiries, unless there's a priority that I have to jump on something sooner. And maybe I get a text and somebody needs to address something a little sooner. I'll throw that in there. But my focus Monday through Friday is getting all my marketing together. Like this morning before the podcast, I probably created a half a dozen AI videos to be posted. They're calendared, they're out. They're ready to go in LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Google. They're already scheduled. So like I set times. You know what I mean? 8 a.m. I got myself together, got my coffee, got all my vitamins, my pills and all that stuff. I'm good to go. And then I'm hitting the ground running. Then I go to the gym after the podcast. Then my wife and I are going to do some things at a concert and a festival this afternoon. But I'm being smart. Like later this afternoon, I'm driving up to Connecticut because I have a lunch meeting with a family office at noon. So if anybody knows, driving from New Jersey to Connecticut is usually a feat any time of the day. I'd rather just be there fresh-eyed, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed in the morning. I'll get more accomplished, and everything. My rhythm doesn't change. And it's just a matter of going for the drive now, later today, and getting myself settled. And I'm able to go to the gym in the morning. I'm able to do everything I can do, like everything's just normalized, right? Systemizing your repeatable stress. Anything that stresses you more than twice should become a system. Showing, scheduling, automated tools, follow-ups, template CRM sequences. Like Yardell and I are still trying to perfect our email and our text messaging campaigning to work for us. Buyer education, pre-recorded guides, doing some of these bomb videos probably might be suggestive. Then you could dive into the AI video piece. Reconnect to your actual strategy, especially relevant if you're into investing or midterm, like rentals, building a business or just, am I building a business or am I just closing transactions? Which deals move forward long-term wealth? If you're grinding on deals that don't build toward your goals, burnout hits faster because there's no deeper payoff. I'll give you an example. Like for real estate investors, they're going to refinance cash out at 75% loan to value to make $200 a month. Or if they refinance at 65 to 70% loan to value and make $500 a month, doesn't that make a little more sense and maybe not take every penny out of the property? Okay, and maybe leave a little money in to get a better cash flow long term. You got to talk to people about the structuring of a loan more now than ever before, because I'm not running around for $200 a month. And what if the hot water heater goes? Guess what? Your $200 a month just went empty, went negative $400. So adding recovery on purpose, deliberate recovery isn't just days off, it's structured. 1 day a week completely off from real estate. Micro breaks after emotionally heavy deals, periodic no client mornings. If you don't schedule recovery, burnout will schedule it for you. Watch for early warning signs. Like burnout doesn't show up suddenly. It creeps in as dreading calls and texts. Don't tell me anybody down below has never dreaded a text or call from someone, or in the past 24 to 48 hours. Lower patience with clients, saying yes to bad fit deals, feeling busy but stuck. So the lower patience with clients, I just lay out emails and formats that they're either going to take it or they're not. It's not bad or good news. It's not nasty news. It's just news. Take it or leave it. So these are just some additional thoughts. Yardell, would you like to throw something in there just to add to what we're discussing this morning? Thank you. And you know what? I think we've had conversations about this, where I'm like, Yardell, just have Rolando do it. And he's like, yeah, we go back and forth, right? Yardell? So, diving back into what my computer's actually acting a little weird. I might have to shut down the podcast itself and stay on the Clubhouse. So I'm going to shut down the podcast on there's something going on here. So